Hey, welcome everybody. It is President's Day and Ty and I are going to spend the next little while putting on some Demon wheel spacers on the Kubota 1100C and replace the fender while we're doing it, and we might even get to the seat today. So that's what we're going to tackle next. So join us and stick around.
Where did that go?
Okay, got a 21 millimeter socket here on the impact gun. I'm going to take these off. All right, looks like we have two studs. Let's see what came in the Demon kit. Looks like we got our 2-inch spacer.
Always want to do before we put new rotors on a car or something like this is index this faceplate right here. So we have an even mounting surface.
All right, we're back at the task. After learning a couple of things the hard way, we're now ready to go ahead and proceed with the 2-inch Demon wheel spacers for the Kubota 1100C. What we realized once we got going that we needed to reuse the stock bolts in attaching the spacer to the hub. So we will go ahead and, at first we were thinking we needed to run and get some wheel studs from the dealer, but after talking to the general manager up at Valley Kubota in Heber here, he told us we needed to reuse these little guys. All right, I need your 21. There we go. Want to make sure when you're doing these that you definitely clean off the back plate of your hub so you don't have any gunk that'll interfere with you when you try to go down the road. Could give you some vibrations. Don't ask me how I know that one, but I have learned that the hard way. All right, let's give these a little bit of love here. These are a little trickier than lug nut because you gotta get them started with your fingers first. Otherwise the nut will just go to the depth of your socket. Get that on the stud straight so I'm not stripping anything. One thing I'll have to say about the two Kubota dealerships in our community, they're both super helpful. Always willing to text me back or call me back with answers to a silly question. They probably see me calling and laugh, it's Alex again, but they've both been really great. Don't want to cross thread this, so this one's struggling a little bit. I'm going to loosen these other ones up. See if that will help me. Much better. That was a ticket. I'd over tightened that other nut. They're not completely hub centric. Then we'll want to torque these down to 90 foot-pounds. Manual calls for 85 to 95, so I figured we'd split the difference and go at 90. So we're torquing these to 90 foot-pounds. Double check. Awesome. Should we throw a bad boy on? This will be a little easier than changing my 35s on the truck. Nice. I think not only will it give a little more stability, up at the cabin and the dirt roads, gravel roads, but also look a little better. Don't know why they don't come this way from the factory, to be honest. All right, the lug nuts for the spacers call for a 19 millimeter. All right, let's see how that. All right, Ty, you want to grab the brake again and I'll torque these down? We're gonna need to switch out to our 19. I'm always amazed when I'm getting tires changed over what I can't do by hand. And when they torque them up, it always seems to move a little bit. Awesome. All right, we're going to the other side. 1 down, 3 to go. So we got our wheel spacer, and as you can see, it's got the 4 hubs or the 4 bolts, and the stock hub has the 2 wheel studs. So what we're gonna do, put this on, and we're gonna reuse the 2 factory bolts that we were on the machine, and we're going to utilize these per the recommendation of the dealer. We were a little stumped as to whether we needed to go buy new wheel studs or not. Let's see if I can get this bad boy started. The spacer isn't quite hub centric, so you do have to kind of tease it into place versus perhaps on other vehicles that you've installed these on yourself. Most of my cars have wheel spacers, and they've all been a little bit easier than these have been on the Kubota. But now that we figured out we needed to reuse this 2 stock bolts per wheel, not going to be hard at all. Okay. You can see there's still a little bit of play there, not quite centric on the hub, but hopefully as we seat these, the lug nuts and the bolts will center it all. At least that's what we're hoping for, we'd anticipate. On the other side, I made the mistake of tightening one down too far, and it wasn't allowing for the other one to go on. The side of the socket was binding up and wasn't able to get it on straight. Just gonna go give them kind of an equal tightening, let the shape of the lug nuts pull it and center the spacer onto the hub. One thing I learned on the Lotus behind me is when I put my spacers on, they weren't centric. And after I got them mounted and went around the neighborhood, I was wondering why the car was vibrating so much. And those, the first set on those weren't centric, so the company sent me out another pair. All right, let's torque these to 90. Ty will get back on the brake. Sure, a little easier without that fender on. I'm gonna need to switch sockets. So this is a 21 mil. All right, let me just do that one more time. Little peace of mind. Alrighty, grab the other wheel and throw it on.
Please tell me you guys have eaten something since
I have, I don't know about it.
I did, hon. Tammy's joining us to make sure we're doing a good job and make sure that Ty and I have eaten. Such a good wife I have. Look how cute you are, hon. So utilizing the new hardware that came with the Demon spacers, get these started by hand, make sure they're seating all the same. Alrighty, looking good. Now we need our 19. Yep. Well, I'm liking the way that looks, just about flush with the factory fender. Awesome. Let's see how she looks from the rear there, Ty. That wheel has a pretty positive offset, to be honest. Give me a little
lift there, Ty. Thanks.
Let's do her. There she is back on the ground. Now we'll move around to the front. Doesn't matter the tire. When you put them on the vehicle, they'll look small real fast. All right, we're coming down to the last wheel spacer and tire to put on. I want to remind everybody to make sure you use the stock bolt that came on your hub, which you have to take off to take off the tires originally, but you'll need these for the spacer kit. Kind of have to do a little bit of time on each of them so that you don't have it, so you get it aligned and seated properly. Another thing we realized in the process today that the front axle is approximately 4 inches wider than the rear. So when we're all said and done, the front is going to appear wider to the eye because it actually is, and that the wheels are non-staggered. So front will go on the back and back will go on the front, which is great for rotation, but you are a little narrower track in the rear than you are in the front. Don't know exactly why Kubota did it that way, but it is what it is, I guess. I'm excited to get these spacers on. I think it's gonna look a lot better and suit my needs at the cabin, plowing snow, a little more stability on the dirt road. The switchbacks have a fair amount of camber to them, so it'll be nice to have a little more width to my stance. I can personally tell you, I had wheel spacers put on my Kubota LX 3310, recently put on, and had a chance to use them Saturday, or use the tractor Saturday to plow snow at the cabin, and that additional 4 inches of width, 2 per side, sure made me feel more comfortable on those side of the mountain slopes. All right, torque down to 90. Now we'll throw the wheel on. So my wife was teasing me yesterday as we were driving home from the cabin as to why I needed the RTV in addition to the tractor to move snow up there. And the only answer I had was, I just want it. And she said, well, the tractor has a blade on the rear and a snowblower on the front. So what's the RTV gonna do for me? I said, it's smaller. I'll be able to get in tighter spots. So I think all you married men out there know what I'm talking about. You sometimes have to plead your case. I don't know if I won or not, but my wife's pretty easygoing. So it is what it is. Another toy for us boys, I guess. All right, let's gun these down and then we'll torque them and we will be done. All right, a little switcheroo. 90 foot-pounds of torque. All righty, there we have it. We'll take it off the jack stands and lower it down and see what we think. All right, Ty, while you're there, why don't you go ahead and lower it down and I'll give her a torque again. Excited to get this rolled rig back on the road. Be a lot of fun. I guess the nice thing about these steel wheels versus alloys, probably not absolutely required to re-torque after a few miles, but probably not a bad thing to do. All right, here we are. 2-inch wheel spacers by Demon Motorsports on. New rubber on. Went with the original equipment for the worksite tires. I think that would be best for my use at the cabin plowing snow. While we're doing it, it went ahead and adjusted the coils. They're both set at the middle setting. So of the 5 choices, we're right in the middle. So that should help once I get the weight of the plow on. And I think just a little bit more work and we should have this bad boy put back together. We're still waiting on the doors. Hopefully that'll be later this week. Get Ty back over here to help me switch out of the doors, put bed back on, put the battery cover on, place the seat in the cab. We'll get some rear light work lights on. Oh, excuse me, front work lights for the time being. Haven't ordered any back ones yet. And get the new fender on. We should be good to go. Thanks for watching. Hope this is helpful for those of you who have a Kubota. And remember, if you're going to put the wheel spacers on, you're going to need to use that bolt that came off your stock wheel. Thank you very much.